We have Aravind here. He's the head of systematic OTC at GSR Markets. We're going to ask him a few questions. Okay, as a market maker, what does GSR see as the biggest obstacle to creating deep liquid 24/7 markets for tokenized real-world assets like private equity or stocks?
The way we see it is, for stocks, for example, if we were to offer liquidity on the weekends, there is no real way for us to go and hedge that, because there's no real liquidity that is there to pretty much go and hedge that. So that's the biggest risk I see with very liquid products like stocks. Whereas on the other hand, especially volatile, riskier products like stocks. Whereas on the other hand, for private equity funds or let's say real estate funds or things that are not moving as much, whose valuation is not changing as much, we don't see that problem. So we can definitely come in and make available liquidity 24/7. Now, one of the things that we've done at GSR is we've launched support for 3 funds where we've launched them via DGFT, where we offer 24/7 support in terms of liquidity. One of them is a private credit fund from Invesco, where we offer instant liquidity for anyone who wants to buy and sell, and this can happen on the weekends as well. The other challenge I see for some of these funds is that when the actual size of the investment tends to be very large, so let's say initially if it's small, few millions, few tens of millions, I think we can do it on our own. But then the moment it reaches hundreds of millions or many hundreds of millions, then I think we do run into a stage where there is some additional capital or additional credit line that market makers like us need as well. So I think that's where we would love to work closely with some of these issuers themselves and try and see if they can lend some credit line, which then makes that happen. I do think that these two are the main hurdles, but at least I do see some ways around it. Hopefully the market will evolve to account for those and then make it possible to have that liquidity.
And next one, is it even possible to have the same kind of instant liquidity for a tokenized asset as we do for Bitcoin or Ethereum, or is the promise of a liquid real-world asset a bit of a myth?
I do think it's possible. In fact, it already exists. So, for example, anyone wanting to trade a treasury fund or a private credit fund, we offer instant liquidity. So someone can come in and trade on the price, and as soon as it is done, it's just a matter of settling by transferring tokens and then receiving tokens. So it does exist. Now, the limitation is what size are we talking about? But I think that problem exists for BTC and ETH as well. Like if you want to suddenly, all of a sudden get something that's too big, too large a size, then you do have to work out how to, the mechanics of it. In particular for real world assets, it's slightly harder compared to crypto if the size goes beyond a point. Because right now, we do maintain inventory and we take the risk of maintaining that inventory and then make that available for clients or investors who want to come in and trade. But as the size gets larger and larger, then it gets a bit harder.
What is the one signal you will have to see for you to confidently start making markets in a new tokenized product?
See, for us, the way we see it is, like I said, if we want to offer 24/7 liquidity, firstly, the token itself, we want it to be reliable in the sense that we want the tokenized asset to be audited, make sure there's the right proof of reserves, so that we are comfortable holding and trading on that asset, and then where we have the right mechanics to mint and redeem as and when possible. So that's very important too. And other than that, if the asset itself is not as volatile, we are more than happy to go and take that risk and then make it available for clients 24/7. If the asset is volatile, probably the benefit that I see is accessibility, where there are some people who don't have access to, let's say, tokenized stocks. And if a new tokenized stock is being launched, we can support the tokenized version of the stock during the market hours that the stock is actually available to trade, but now make it available for a broader set of people who otherwise don't have access to trade that stock, for example.